Oh, hello, and welcome to today's Decay. Celebrating births and beginnings of everything important since the dawn of time, March 28th edition. And I realized I had to do this one anew because over the last year, or perhaps two, I discovered a couple of exciting things that just to say that there's always something new out there, or something old out there, or something worth finding out more about. I say that because we are at 55 West 23rd Street in Manhattan. And in 1884 today, the Eden Musée first opened its doors right here. And it was a dime museum, curiosity shop that attracted all sorts of very early, basically what would have become like sideshow and like carnival type content. There was a wax museum here that really wowed audiences. Apparently a robot that like would play cards with you that was really like a couple of people inside a giant paper mache creation. There was a chamber of horrors down in the basement. All of this I know because I got to sit in on a Joe Coleman talk about the history of Coney Island. So I owe Joe Coleman for this bit of information here that in 1884 you had like the first glimmers of what became like sideshow amusement attraction, other than of course P.T. Barnum and his museum downtown. But yeah, the Eden Musée, right here. And the reason why it was being talked about in a history of Coney Island was because the Chamber of Horrors creations, when eventually this place closed down in like 19 teens, I think, all that content wound up getting moved down to Coney, where I think eventually a lot of it may have been destroyed in fires, as most things happen in Coney Island, as is the fate of most of Coney Island, unfortunately. Yeah. 1887 today, cripple Clarence Lofton was born, who is a really wonderful pumping piano, boogie-woogie blues piano player that like deserved to live life of royalty and happiness, because if this isn't rock and roll, well, I just don't know what is. Cripple Clarence Lofton. Check him out. Really wonderful, primitive, beautiful rock and roll. What else? 1941. The serial The Adventures of Captain Marvel premiered. A lot of people think this is like the best serial ever produced. I don't know about that. Oh, Cyndi Lauper, very nice. Time after time here at today's Decay, March 28th. What else happened today? 1977 today, the Sex Pistols played their first show with Sid Vicious. So interesting, I suppose, because if you can see the neon down there, that's the Hotel Chelsea, where Nancy would have met her demise, and Sid would have been found dead a series of blocks further south west of here in an apartment. Get out of the bus lane. You're grooving in the bus lane. As sung by the Jazz Butcher. 1979, Phantasm had its U.S. premiere. I love Phantasm, and regardless of that it doesn't make any sense, who cares? What needs to make sense anyway, right? Why just a couple of blocks that away was Irving Plaza, still is Irving Plaza, and in 1979 today, the Misfits played their first show with the advertisement of the Crimson Ghost as like their flyer, and forever became iconic. And I have an opinion that the Jerry Orlinger film still like shop. It was like a storefront that you could go in, and he just had millions of like classic movie stills and television stills that you could walk in there and be like, I think I'd like to try some of your. I'd like to see your Crimson Ghosts folders, and then he'd bring out like all these binders of everything under CR or something like that, and you could like flip through them all. All right, I'm gonna buy these two for 30 cents each or whatever. I don't know what he was selling them for, but it's all in my head. And that would have been just over here as well, I think. He moved a couple of times. I think West 23rd. I think he was on 14th when I was younger, and eventually wound up in near Times Square before it closed. Yeah, so these are the people in your neighborhood. And just think about it. Like, everybody walks by this and would never have any idea that you had like a 1884 Chamber of Horrors just beneath your feet. Exciting, right? March 28th. All day, from me to you, till tomorrow, goodbye!